Hey, what's going on to you, Virgos? How you Virgos are doing? So you have the Page of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, and then you Virgos have the Four of Pentacles. So it's this sense of you Virgos pretty much um, overall. Uh, I've talked about this for the past couple of weeks now about just how, again, there's this gathering around, there's this, people having this misconception about you, and it still reigns true. It's true, right? They have this misconception about a lot of us, and they find out that there's more nuance to life than what it is that they thought. Because a lot of the times nowadays, people use other people for what they can get, but while at the same time they're sitting on high, looking higher, right? Which is completely delusional, by the way. And so why that's so important is because the Page of Pentacles represents the aspect of us. A little cloudy. It represents, there you go. It represents the aspect of us Virgos in which they don't really see, which is the Page of Pentacles, right? When we go through our things, when we go through it, our difficult times, what it is that we Virgos do, right? How it is that we as Virgos, we survive the hard work that a lot of us put in, but we don't show people the ins and the outs of how we actually do hard work, right? The fact that we get up, go to work, handle our business, we do what it is that we do. And then we play it smart. We have a strategy as to how it is that we're handling our business. And so the situation with that is that the Six of Cups right here is about, so, there's a level of them misjudging us about what it is that they thought that we were. And it's this conception that, if you don't start treating everybody with respect, then you're liable to miss on someone because, the ego, like I've talked about this before, the self-importance, the deluded self-importance can really put you in a messed up situation, right? So that's where they are. And so the Six of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, us as Virgos, we don't want to have anything to do with them coming back. So it could be, people's misconceptions, people's, projections that they have onto us, where it's like they think that us as Virgos. Let me close this window because I know people finna, where it's like they have their misconceptions, right, about us, where it's like they think that, somehow we're going to somehow give them something or build something or give something to them, right? Just so. And so, I told you all about how this year I've had the most people slide into my DMs and ask, like literally have their hands out. And I'm like, listen, you need to get a job, okay? Stop complaining. Stop acting like you this fly. Grow up, get a job, and stop being so jealous and being disrespectful about it, because all that disrespectful talk and you being mad, that's just going to have people not rock with you even more. Grow up, get a job, find something to do. You know what I mean? Find something to do that legitimately, you care about, that pulls in income, or find a job, because you have a lot of entitled people running around out here, you'll have like you'll have like goofy goobers, they'll think that they're funny, who will be like, oh, get a job and stuff like this. And it's like, but what are y'all doing sitting up on the internet besides talking trash? Like what, like you're still wasting, like if you're a real person, you're still wasting time doing this trash. So you still you still haven't learned the lesson to just go do what it is that you need to do. You're still being dumb. You're still being stupid still. And so again, the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, a lot of us Virgos, we're not interested in anything that, delusional, entitled people want from us, or they figure if they spend time with us, then somehow we'll give them finances. You know how many times people came to me throughout my life and was like, I'll be a best friend I'll be a best friend if you if you give me some money, um, I'm like, no, why would I do that? Well, and so the next one is the Nine of Cups. And if you don't like it, I don't care. The Nine of Cups, right, represents how the Nine of Cups represents how you Virgos basically um it's hot. It's hot out here in New York still. The Nine of Cups represents the level of confidence that us as Virgos have, right? Because once again, we're not sitting up on the internet talking trash to people whom we don't know, playing like we think we do, being entitled, talking wild, or whatever the case may be. Us as Virgos, however it is, without selling our soul, in order for us to survive, a lot of us are working odd jobs. A lot of us have 9 to 5s. A lot of us are making it happen. And we're not sitting on the internet. We're not complaining about it. We're not being entitled. We're not anywhere being entitled. We're being quiet, handling our business. Like I said, and I've talked about this for weeks, minding our business, and we're doing our thing. And so the Justice card represents how, you know, and what we're doing, the perspective that us as Virgos have, we're right in doing it. Because what they don't understand is you Virgos work hard for everything that it is that you have too. So the perspective in which like people think that, you know, somehow they're supposed to like just project something onto you, whatever their projections are, which is what has them coming back, by the way. It's like, once again, they don't know you, you know. Once again, it's this Seven of Cups, right? Look at the cavern, right? Look at how it's like steps, but it's like ridges, right? You know, people are trying so hard to reach that economic social ladder. The most egocentric people are trying to get to the top of the economic, you know, socio-economic ladder. And it's like, once again, I got to go to the chart. If you go up here with your ego, you're climbing right up. And the higher you go is the more of your soul you lose along the way. This is where it is that you get like the characters like the Wolf of Wall Street. You partying so hard, you're doing so much, you're making so much money to the point where things gotta end with you going to the big house because you're not going up the socio-economic ladder the correct or a correct way. You're doing it from a perspective, you're just going right up. And you don't care who you have to betray in order to do it. Well, you gotta understand that that comes with a downfall with that. And so what happens is that that's what a lot of people are not getting about you, right? And again, it's the same old story as to why a lot of you Virgos are actually quite bored with, again, with the options that a lot of you have. It's like, what are they projecting onto you, right? Like, what are they really projecting onto you? You know, are the interactions that they're having with you projections, or is it that they really see the real you? Do they legitimately care, or do they think that they're going to date you for a future prospect of them benefiting? You understand what I'm saying? Are they with you for the correct reasons, or are they hanging out with you because you're the smartest zodiac sign? You know what I'm saying? So many people are so caught up with this ideology of usury. That's part of the reason why they're in their situation that they're in now, right? Why they're in this predicament in the first place. And so the thing about it is that the King of Swords represents how a lot of you Virgos, you know, you want to get away. A lot of you, there's a sense of you Virgos basically like staying to yourselves. You know, while it is that other people are kind of like looking for you, a lot of you Virgos are actually, you know, being quiet, like I said before, and ghosting and staying humble, of course, right? because that's a life lesson that us as Virgos have learned, right? Because us as Virgos, real quick, we've learned that lesson because when we got out of hand, life humbled us. You know what I'm saying? So us as Virgos, we understand how to win and be humble at the same time, right? Don't let it go to our head. And in any case, we're not really looking for people per se. We're more so handling our business, doing what we got to do. And again, we're not asking people, we're not entitled about it. We're doing what it is that we have to do. And people are not seeing the work. The only people who see the work are the people who are probably in the business with you, watching you do your job, watching you watch yourself do your job, right? They're there with you. They see you on attendance when it comes to the job because they're on their job. And so they know that you've been there in the office or whatever job you work for, because they see you clock in and then they see you clock out. They know you are there. Those are the only people that see you grinding, that see you actually handling your business or whatever you do, right? When you show up, those are the people that see you show up. And so this perspective that somebody's delusional and stuck up and like backward people have this, you know, this thought in their head, this ideology that, you know, you give them something and they're entitled, and it's like, you know, it's sad. You know what I mean? It's sad to be really that out of touch with reality. You know, to be living a reality where it requires you to actually do something, and then the best thing that a person can do is to start being disrespectful to you by coming around you, hanging around you, thinking that they're going to get something, but then they refuse to actually make any kind of changes. It's like, okay, you could give these people, let's just say if you could give these people $1,000,000, if you gave these people $1,000,000, they would blow through all of it in a record time. Blow through all of it in a record time. Why? Because they don't want to change their spending habits. They don't want to learn how to make money. All they want to do is just take it. Those people, let me explain something to you. And this is something that I've learned over the years. People who take money from other people, right, or get it from nefarious ways, those people are poor. They can't keep that money. They can't keep that money. No, they can't. They can't keep that money. And so the situation with that is that the Empress and the Hangman represents how a lot of you Virgos, a lot of you are very much so being able to pick and choose the quality of the people that a lot of you Virgos have around you. There's a sense of, you know, you Virgos being very wise. If you're gonna engage or interact with other people, you Virgos being very wise about whom it is that you want to call yourself interacting and engaging with, right? The Hanged Man represents, you know, you not really trusting anybody immediately. And if you happen to know these people, you still mind your business. So what it looks like to me is that a lot of you Virgos are just quitting social circles to focus on your business and doing what it is that you got to do, right? Focus on your life. Because once again, a lot of you Virgos are starting to understand that a lot of the discord and the dysfunction comes from other people being in your life that you accept to, you choose to socialize around. And so now it's the realization of what happens when I choose to stay away from them, right? So let's clarify the Hanged Man. King of Swords, Queen of Cups, Page of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, right? To clarify the Hanged Man. So again, the King of Swords, the Queen of Cups just represents, like, you know, all these people want to be treated and pampered and treated like a king or a queen and just royalty, but they're unwilling to do that same thing for you, right? While they hang around you to get something from you. Now, granted, this is what I meant when I was trying to say that, you know, you will be careful right? Or discerning about, which is careful about whom you hang around. Because you Virgos understand not everybody is going to be coming around you trying to get some money from you, but a lot of people are, because that's the name of the game nowadays. It's usury. A lot of the times now, people want to hang around you, right? And people been doing this to us Virgos, hang around us to get something, and then we're like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like these people are so stupid. They think that treating us like only a piggy bank without having to treat us with dignity and respect, we're more than a piggy bank. We're more than a bank. We're more than attention, time, and money. We're more than that stuff, right? It's like they can't fathom it. And so insulting, because they're like, well, if you're not gonna give me money, then I'm not gonna pay attention to any of this. And you're like, but what would, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so what would make you, they are deluded. They're really delusional, because it's like you Virgos now are like, again, the Page of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. Perfect way. It's like, well, what would inspire you Virgos to now think of these kind of connections as prolific, relationships with that are valuable, that you should have, that you're going to need for your own development and their own development, and the two of you can feed off of each other. Like, why would you choose to hang around somebody that is basically treating you like trash, cut and dry like that? Like, they're so stupid, and they think that this kind of stuff is going to work on everybody. But again, this goes to show you the level of delusion, because they don't pay attention, because those people are very much so asleep. They like to play the ignoring game, which is, because they don't spend any of their time, because they're so deluded, thinking that they're so much better than you Virgos, because they don't spend any of their time actually paying attention to who you Virgos are and what you Virgos are about. You Virgos can, the other day, I literally said in one of my videos a few weeks ago that I'm not with the ideology of like the transactional relationships. And yet you'll still have people who will come at me like this, and it's like, you didn't pay attention to my video, did you? And then like they'll be like, well, what's going on? It's like, well, if you had paid attention to my video, you would have known I don't do that. But this is how you caught lacking, because they're so caught up in their own delusions. And that's proof that they're caught up in their own delusions, because they don't actually keep their ears close to the streets. They so caught up with their own delusions to the point where they don't ever actually really getting to know you. And then this is what happens. Then they want to cry about how they got caught off guard. You're not who they thought you were, when you are exactly who you Virgos always have been since the time they met you. It's just that they just weren't paying attention. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. If you want to contact me for a personal reading, the link to that is in the comment section below, called the Linktree link. Peace. Have a good one. Come through.